What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Whiskey Cove. And on today's episode, we accept the challenge laid down by the Bourbon Junkies that you only need 5 bottles for every occasion. Let's see what I put down for that list. Run the video. Alrighty then, folks, thank you for tuning in for another new episode of the Whiskey Cove here on what is a fantastic summer night here in the Cove. Nice and cool, not hot like it is outside, and we are just living our best life on what has been a great summer so far, I must admit, and one that'll get even better. So recently, and I say recently, within the last 30 days or so, Bourbon Junkies put out a video, and it was titled, "You Only Need 5 Bourbons for Every Occasion." So they threw that out to the Whiskey Tube and asked everybody to kind of put up their own videos. So if you'd like to go and watch their video after this, I'll put the link down below in the description so you can go and see that. So there are 5 categories, and ultimately I picked, of course, 5 bottles. And let's talk about what those categories are. So the first bottle is a night starter. A bottle of whiskey that, you know, as you're just about to take on the night, you're gonna have a few drinks throughout the night, whether you're going out for food, spending some time with friends and family, you're gonna have a poker night and whatnot. This whiskey just gets the night started. After this, you move into maybe some other stuff, but this bottle of whiskey hits right every single time. Second on the list is gonna be a daily drinker, but with a caveat there. This is gonna be a current daily drinker, and I've talked about this on the channel before. My daily drinker changes all the time, so I think that's a good addition right there. 3 is gonna be your hipster bottle, maybe a bottle of whiskey that not everybody knows about, and you're trying to shoehorn it into a lot of bourbon conversations and just might not be an easy bottle to find. Not because it's allocated, but it's just kind of a little bit out of the way, a little bit hipster. 4 is going to be your small circle bottle. So this is where we step it up a little bit of a notch here. And this is a bottle of whiskey where you take you take and give to maybe some of your nearest and dearest family and friends for special occasions, and you share it with other people who are really close to you, your small circle. And then lastly, your bottle share bottle. So the caveat with that bottle is that you can take it to a whiskey bottle share, and if it comes back full, you don't care, and if it comes back empty, you know, you're okay with that too. Everybody's had a good night. So a bottle of whiskey that you don't mind getting it drunk, but it just has to hit right with other people there at the bourbon share, or bottle share, I should say. So first up for night starter, and before we delve into these, definitely comment your 5 bottles down below, because I absolutely love seeing you guys' comments. I try to interact with you as much as I can. I want to see those lists down below. So first up, and just like my man over at That Bourbon Dude, Charles, said, this is a no-brainer. This is my night starter. It doesn't matter what I'm just about to go on at that night. It doesn't matter where I'm gonna go, who I'm gonna be spending it, what I'm gonna do. If I want a glass of whiskey to start the night, this bottle of whiskey hits home every single time. That is Early Times bottled in bond. Phenomenal whiskey, excellent price, very approachable. And when I think about night starter, I think about something that's about 50% ABV or 100 proof. Something that just hits really well in that kind of middle proof point. It's not gonna be too high in proof that it's gonna blow your mouth off or blow your palate to bits, but it's gonna be high enough that you can enjoy it and you know you're drinking a good whiskey. The Early Times bottled in bonds absolutely hits home every single time. For $25 for a 1 litre bottle, I've been preaching on this bottle many times on this channel. We do not need to go into that bottle as much anymore. Second on this list, and this is gonna be my daily drinker. So my daily drinker from a couple of weeks ago, it looks different to my daily drinker today. This looked different probably multiple times throughout this year and last year. But the way I took this is a bottle that I'm really into right now, and I kind of want to taste it all the time. We've been doing quite a lot with this bottle on this channel lately, a lot of blinds and whatnot, and it surprised us originally, and that is Old Forester 1897. So didn't have much experience with Old Forester 1897 until the beginning of the year. We blinded it, we did an Old Forester series, and wow, super impressed with this. And this also did very well in that Old Forester blind. It kind of has some of those Old Forester notes, but it takes into a little bit more of a different direction, maybe more of a woody backbone, maybe some fruit going on in there instead of your pancake syrup, dessert syrup whiskey that a lot of Old Forester is. It's beautiful, and I kind of get like a little bit of stone fruit, like fresh apples and some citrus on this. but then it has a little bit of that yeasty note, and it creates this plethora of flavors for the person drinking. Really approachable, again, bottled and bond right in that 50% ABV. So it's not going to make you rough for school the next day, work, or whatever it is that you folks at home like to do the day after drinking, as long as you don't drink too much and drink responsibly, of course, as we always preach on this channel. So daily drinker current is Old Forester 1897. Next on this list is going to be the Hipster Bottle. Like I said earlier on, maybe a bottle not everybody are aware of, but something that I'm really into and trying to get other people involved into. So we're going to go with Doc Swinson's Alter Eagle. This is going to be the triple cask finish. They do a high proof triple cask finish, but this is going to be the 47.9% ABV or 95.8 proof. Why I chose this one, as you can see, big dent in this bottle so far. But Doc Swinson's isn't available in all states, and some of the states that it is available in is a pretty hard bottle to get sometimes. Here in Colorado, we are very fortunate we were able to get this. And this bottle of whiskey blew my socks off. It is finished in sherry and cognac cask, a straight bourbon whiskey. That bourbon is sourced from MGP, and then they finish it themselves, much like High West used to do quite a lot. It's beautiful. It has plenty of those sherry notes, like a custody cognac in the background, but the whiskey kind of cuts through it. In the summertime, I do smoke cigars. Not so much in the wintertime, if any. Just in the summertime, there's something about sitting outside with a nice glass of whiskey and a nice cigar. This pairs very well with them. I can't recommend this bottle enough, and Doc Swinson's as a whole. We love these guys. As you can see over my shoulder here, I have a bunch of them on this shelf. It's gonna cost you around $50. Which is pretty solid, so you're not gonna blow the expense with this bottle. So if you can find it, definitely go out and buy it. A very unique bottle, and you have to think, it is finished in sherry and cognac. It's kind of like a cigar finish whiskey, but without the huge price tag of like $100 to $200. So it's a hipster bottle. I have to try to preach to people because it's kind of out of the way a little bit. Next up, and this is gonna be my small circle bottle, and this will probably be the best bottle on this list. So for this bottle, I could have chose, as you can see, we have some special bottles over my shoulder here. I could have chose George T. Stagg, and I could have chose William Laruella. Those two kind of stand out quite a lot, but they're obvious, you know, and maybe this bottle's a little obvious too, but you know, I wanted to do something a little different, and this is something that I've been sharing with people coming over to the Whiskey Cove, because I think it's very special. And that is going to be the Russell Single Rickhouse, but this is the first release. I haven't tried the second release. I can't give an informed opinion on that. However, I can definitely give an informed opinion on this one. I think this is the third or fourth highest whiskey we've reviewed here on the Whiskey Cove. The Single Rickhouse, this is going to be Camp C from floors 3 and 4. This is going to come in at a whopping 56.2% ABV or 112.4 proof. So rich, so delicious. It's your quintessential bourbon, just amped up to the max, just done so well. Beautifully balanced, excellent new charred oak flavor. The sweetness there is on point. It doesn't lend too much into the dessert category. It kind of stands up to a nice sweet creamy vanilla, and then you get a nice little bit of that turkey spice, but not too much. It doesn't pull you out too much, and it kind of creates an excellent balanced bourbon, and this is exactly what this Russell's is. I paid close to $300 for this bottle, and I've mentioned before in other videos that I probably wouldn't do that again, just because that's a lot of money to pay for a bottle of whiskey. But the lower and lower the whiskey gets in this bottle, I'm thinking, I probably would pay $250 right about now. So you're probably not gonna find these. These are probably just people are sitting on them for whatever reason. If you do find one for like $250, definitely pick it up. It's such a wonderful, quintessential bourbon. And I'm so excited that I was able to get it. And as I said, I share this with people, my small circle, when they come here down in the Whiskey Cove. That was the Russell's Reserve Camp Nelson C. And then lastly, we have the bottle share bottle. So this is going to be the bottle that you take over to a bottle share, and if it gets drunk, good. You know, people have had a good time and they've enjoyed a good whiskey, because this whiskey is a good whiskey. Maybe not the easiest to get. I'm fortunate that I was able to trade into a few of these bottles and have a decent stock of about 4 or 5. But even then, outside of that, I feel like I probably could pick them up for around $90 to $100. And that is, of course, one of my favorites here on the Whiskey Cove, Weller 107, or Weller Antique 107. MSRP is actually going to be sitting around $50. My recommendation to be able to try to find this, make some friends in Ohio, travel through Ohio and do some hunting. Obviously, because of black market, secondary markets, people scoop them up. Hopefully the price will kind of slowly come together, what it is worth on secondary to what it is being sold for in store, and then we'll kind of settle somewhere at around $60 to $70 is my hope. Obviously, it's a far cry from years gone by when this was like $30. However, we have to accept the times that we are in. Excellent bottle of whiskey. People on a bottle share would be like, hey, he brought 107. He knows what he's talking about. And if it gets drunk, then I'm like, okay, you know, I'm happy with that. You know, people obviously enjoyed it, made people happy. Not everybody's going to be able to find these. I'm fortunate that I have a few here, and I'm fortunate that I probably can get them maybe for $90 to $100, but that might be a little bit of a reach there. So that was the last bottle. That was the bottle share bottle. So hope you enjoyed this list. First up, we had the night starter. Secondly, we had my current daily drinker. Up third, we had the Doc Swinson's Hipster Bottle. Then we had Russell's Camp Nelson C for the small gathering, the small group. And then lastly, we had the bottle share bottle, and that was Weller 107 OWA. So let me know your list down below in the comments. I will respond to each one as best as I can, and I'll pick out some of my favorites. So, as we see in the channel, we drink through the world's whiskies, one glass at a time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.